happy to have you and looking forward to your thoughts for 2017 and how we can get on track really, really fast.
Awesome. Thanks, Monica. Appreciate that. Thank you, guys. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
I always enjoy talking with you guys because this is a bunch of people who want to make some changes and do well. I have some stuff I want to share. I'm going to run the slides for you. I'm going to turn off the webcam. Just wanted to say hello. I'm going to come back, and then we'll stay for as long as it takes. I want to answer your questions. I want to make sure you're clear what we're going to do today. This will be a different type of webinar, different coaching session. Normally, there's a dude or a girl that presents the slides, and you're kind of listening and doing your thing. Today, I would like to grab a piece of paper and a pen because we're going to do some exercises that has these kind of things. What I'm going to walk you through changed my life. I use it to this day. I actually did it about 3 weeks ago again. It's an exercise I go through every so often that helps me stay focused, stay on target so that instead of the silly goal setting, you will actually reach the lifestyle you're after. But it will require your active participation. It will require you actually playing along. So do that, and I promise you're going to walk with a lot of value, a lot of information. This is not a disguised sales pitch. I will tell you about the Expired Plus at the end if you're interested, if you're curious about it, but that's not why we're here today. Cool? So with that,
is the audio real quick, Borino.
Are you guys ready?
Real quick, if we could just tell everybody, if you have questions as we go through, use the chat function or the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and I'll be monitoring those, and I'll try to ask questions as I can, and if not, we'll come back to them at the end.
Okay. What I'm going to do is every 10 or 15 minutes, I will pause, and I'll make sure you're getting it, guys. And I will also ask you some questions, so please play along. You will get a lot more out of this if you're actually playing along rather than just passively being entertained. I mean, we're going to have fun. I'm going to use some colorful language and stuff. It will be a lot better for you. Time will spend if you actually go through this with me. Groovy? So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to turn the cam off. Let me share the screen. Cool. So that's it. And we're going to share this bad boy. All right. So now you should be able to see this. Yes. Are we good? Can you guys see the slides? All right.
We can. We're good. Good to go.
Okay, perfect. So let's get the party started. My presentation is always rated R. That just doesn't mean a colorful language, but also means rich in content. First, a quick disclaimer. I'm not implying you will achieve any results or do anything. My lawyer always makes me say that. No false promises here. The numbers and examples are strictly hypothetical. These are just examples. Your numbers will be different, hopefully better. That's my goal. What I teach you is not easy at first. This is not a magic bullet. This is not some super secret where you send one letter, you send one postcard, you do one thing, and sellers will be lining up at your front door. It requires work, good old-fashioned work. If you think you're going to hit it perfectly, the home run, it's not going to happen. Let's be realistic. I want you to reach success, and a lot of the stuff I'm going to share with you will lead to that. But it requires time and effort. The good old work, rolling up our sleeves and going to work. So to be clear, you understand who this stuff is for. It is for people who realize there's no such thing as success without work. I have friends who do well, many of them over $1 million, but nobody I know of ever gotten rich by watching General Hospital on their couch. It does require effort. You must be committed to helping other clients. Yes, we're going to talk about commissions. A big chunk of what we're going to talk about today has to do with money because that's how you pay your bills. That's how you put food on the table. But beyond that, there has to be a desire to be the rock star agent who provides for their clients, who does right by their clients. And of course, I want you to set ambitious goals. If your goal is to do like 80,000 a year, 100,000 a year, you might be wasting your time here. This is really for you guys who want to push it further, who understand that there's a great opportunity there that you can reach, but it will require ambitious goals, a plan to get to it, and then sticking with it. The willingness to go through the uncomfortable situations all the way through. And I think this is a perfect time when Melissa and I started talking about putting this together for you guys. I felt like this is a perfect time. I did this session about 2 weeks ago. And when I surveyed the people, 72% already declared they're off. They're not on track. Now, mind you, this is like 3 weeks into the year. And what I believe, this is a perfect opportunity where you can take control of your life, your business, your financing, all of that. Now, I have to warn you, there'll be the little drunken monkey, the monkey brain. The Buddhists call it the monkey brain, the little chitter-chatter in your brain who will tell you stuff like, oh, wait a second, I've heard this before. Or I've done this before. Maybe you've been on this seminar. Maybe you did this exercise in the past with me. But just remember this. It is this usual habitual thinking, this pattern, that got you stuck in the first place. Because if you're doing 400, 500,000 a year, the hell you'd be sitting on a webinar with me for? You'd be chasing business out there. You'd be hanging out on your boat or skiing or doing other stuff. So you're here because you're not exactly where you want to be. And the main reason you're not exactly where you want to be is because of certain habitual thinking that results in habitual patterns of behavior. So let's put that drunken monkey on hold for about an hour, hour and a half, whatever long it takes for us to go through this. Because I want you to give yourself a chance. So if that voice pops, and I promise you it will, if it hasn't already, just put it on hold, mute it for the next 90 minutes. And you will get a lot of value out of this. Fair enough? All right. So you're here because you want to have a strategy. You want to have a system that is both profitable, productive, but also enjoyable. Now, we're not talking some complicated business planning. I was never a big fan of it, even in my company this day. We don't do any fancy, complicated business plans. That never worked for me, and I have a feeling it probably didn't work for you either. But I want to show you that you can have plenty of motivated leads following a simple process. And mostly cool sellers. I'm not a big fan of buyers, so what we're going to focus on is mostly listings. How to get good, saleable listings. So you can make more commissions. And I will show you today you can finally take control of your income, your business, and your life. Regardless of what happened last week, regardless of what happened last year, none of that really matters a whole lot. What I want you to do is plan today best 12 months you ever had. Best in terms of business, income, and just enjoyable, where you enjoy what you do. So you're going to see there's a new system to plan. I met a guy named Frank Kern in San Diego many years ago. This dude pulls up in a Rolls Royce. And that impressed me, you know. I'm into cars. I guess that was a big deal. And I spent 2 days with him. And one of the things he showed me is the exact exercise we're going to go through this today. Changed my life. But it is a new way of approaching this. And I will also show you that you can stick with the plan. This is a strategy that actually works, where we're going to go get away from all those goals. Goal setting is bullshit, and you'll see why in just a moment. We're going to rework your lifestyle. Very different. And this should fix your income problem once and for all. And it's actually a very simple formula. There's a very simple answer to that. Too simple, and in fact, your monkey will probably say, oh, this is too simple. So don't let that sway you, okay? You will see that there is a possibility you may be self-sabotaging, but there is also a solution to that. Now, we all have good intentions. Here we are at the end of, middle of February. You set goals, right? We all had good intentions. I started exercising in the end of November, hired a coach. But because of that survey, and tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Is this what it looks like now? Be honest. Possibly, right? This is where most good intentions, especially goals, end up. Now, here is why. You set a goal that you don't reach, it reaffirms who you are. I'm not the person who reaches goals. So you'll see today, we're going to drop all that. What we're going to talk about is not just a theory, not just positive thinking, although I'm a big believer that if your head is in the right place, if your mind and your heart is in the right place, the actions become easier. But we're going to roll up our sleeves and put a roadmap in place. Whether you want to do 100,000, 150, whatever numbers you're going to come up with during this exercise, the formula, the approach doesn't change. The only thing that changes is the numbers. That's the only difference. Because at the end, I want you to become that successful agent. So you will know how to think in order to have the killer year, take control, how to become wealthy and prosperous and confident. I want you to become an agent with plenty of good listings. You drive a nice car, you live in a nice home, make money. Yes, you work hard, but there's a balance in your life. Balance between spending time with the family, enjoying life, and working your ass off. Where you feel good, and it's possible. I'm going to introduce you to some people during our time together. Like this guy, when he came to me flat broke. His business went belly up, lost a lot of money, 2 years in the business. His guy's Jazz Samra. 2 years in the business, had a good December, 19 commission checks. Now, I'm not showing you this to impress you. Look how cool I am, how phenomenal coach I am, or how awesome my systems are. Well, they're good, but the reason I want to show it to you is because so many times we tell our stories, well, I'm a new agent, I can't make a lot of money yet. And most of the time, these stories are just the bullshit, just a drunken monkey talk that holds you in place. So I want to show you these people. I'm going to introduce you to these people to inspire you what's possible, what's out there. Because once you become that high status agent, you can pick your own client. You become the expert. You get not just the monetary reward, which is good, but you're respected in the community, in the industry. And yes, we have millions of agents out there. But this kind of agent, who is not just a salesperson, who is an advisor, who is perceived by a client as somebody more than just trying to make a buck, is very rare. And there's a high demand for people like that. Because what you do, the stuff you do, the advice you give, this is not like selling fucking shoes in Payless. What you do matters a whole lot. You make a huge difference in people's lives. I mean, you're guiding them through such big decisions and helping them something so huge. That is a big deal. You change people's lives, and I take it seriously, and I want to say thank you for being willing to spend some time here with me today to learn, to be better, to do right by your clients, and deliver more for them because they expect more. So my mission today with us together is to plan how to get you on track if you're not, and how to help you stay with the plan. So you start getting leads immediately, business immediately, change immediately. And of course, I will help you if you want my help. It involves working together, using the Expired Plus if you want to. I have other systems. But that's not the point. The point is for you to walk away and, okay, I got it. And this time it will be different. What I would recommend is write everything down. Take a lot of notes. This will help you focus because so much of the success depends on your mental ability to stay with it. When prospecting doesn't feel good, when follow-up is not fun, to discipline yourself, to be clear, write things down, help your brain stay with it. This will also give you a lot of inspiration. Now, maybe you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, what should I do? Should I use this? Now, I've read about Facebook ads, and I read about blogging, and I read about video, and I think this agent is doing this, and it's all over the place, right? There's this new thing, that new thing. Will this work? Which direction? So today we're going to strip all that noise and distraction. You will see you can get appointments, you can get listings immediately. Whatever your goals are, whatever your expectations are. Look at this guy. This is Taha. Just this email recently. Hello, Borino. Happy New Year. Just went over the best year ever, which is the exercise we're about to do. And ever since I have done this exercise, I've achieved 3 objectives: a BMW, top 5 award in my office, and vacation in Africa. Thank you so much for that, Taha. Center to Innovative. Now, what if you don't have years of experience? What if you don't have a huge budget? And what if you don't have a long list of past clients? Doesn't matter. That's where I was at the beginning. Minus the language. I didn't speak English, almost very little. So none of that really matters. Again, this is just another story. Does it help to have a huge list of past clients? Well, it helps. But if you don't have it, it doesn't matter. You can still do it. And one thing you know about me, maybe, and if you don't, I am a horrible salesperson. I suck at selling. I am absolutely no good. So anything we're going to work on involves no traditional, the uncomfortable, pushy selling techniques. I don't want to master them, never did, hate them. So there'll be no cheesy scripts, no aggressive selling, closing. It is not required in order for you to be successful in this business. Cool? Cool. So now, let's say your target will be 150, 200,000 or more. Remember this, your past does not equal your future. Whether you've been at it a year and it's been a bad year, whether you've been at it for 15 years, it's been a rough 15 years. Your past does not equal your future. Now, on the other hand, a few things you must believe, know, and do. There are actually 3 very specific ones. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, this needs to be the foundation. And I struggled with this. I didn't want to do this whole new age, airy-fairy, positive thinking, California bullshit. You know what I mean? Give me the hardcore facts, show me what to do, and I'll do it. And I struggled, and I struggled. So the trick is, you must be willing to break through your comfort zone. That's number 1. In order for you to become successful and get paid well for your work, whether you decide to come aboard, get the Expired Plus or the FISBO system, that doesn't matter. These three things are essential. You must be willing to break through the comfort zone. Because there will be times to reach the success, it'll be uncomfortable. Trying a new approach, using a different dialogue, talking to strangers, talking to people, and not necessarily super friendly people at all times. You know, sometimes they can be assholes. So you must move forward even if it's not always pleasant or easy. Very important. 2, you must be absolutely clear what you're after. And you're going to be clear. By the time we wrap up today, you will know. You know, when I do coaching sessions, so many times people tell me, I want to make more money. I want to pay off bills. I want to do... Not enough. Be specific. Be clear. And then the third one, you must commit. You will never let your self-doubt stop you from having what you want. Because there will be self-doubt. You will doubt me. You will doubt yourself, your spouse, right? My wife used to say, maybe this real estate business is not for you. And you know what? Maybe she was right at the time. Kick that self-doubt in the butt. Can I do this? Is it worth it? So you got to just typo the shit out of it. Don't let the fear and doubt beat you up, because it will. It will hold you in place. You'll be stuck in stress and struggle and mediocrity. And that's just no way of not just running a business, but living a life. I guess the bottom line, what I'm trying to tell you is you can do this. The reason I do these webinars, and I'm not here to get paid or anything, I'm here because I'm inspired and because I feel I can inspire you. Just like when I struggled and it was tough, there were people who believed in me. I believe in you. Because there are several things I know about you. One of them is you have a genuine desire. So the reason you fail is because so many agents fail. Number one, they don't have a plan. That's just like going on a road trip where you have no idea where you're going. It's not that they're not motivated. You're plenty motivated. You're plenty hungry. It's just sometimes there's no plan, or it's a bad plan, or even worse, you have a good plan, you just don't stick with it. But it always evolves around first knowing what is my direction. Let me show you some proof. Anybody know this? You guys recognize this? This is Harvard. This is where a gentleman named Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg, sounds familiar, started that little website called Facebook. To go to Harvard will set you back about $60,000 a year. If you do a business, it's even more. A lot of smart people go here. Now, there was a study done where the interviewers in Harvard asked new graduates from the MBA program, bunch of smart people, one simple question. They ask, do you have a clear written goals for your future and a plan to accomplish them? Here are the answers. 84% had no specific plans of MBA graduates. 13% had goals, but they were not written down. And 3% had clear written goals and a plan to accomplish them. Then they graduated, went on their merry way. 10 years later, the interviewers went back to the same group. Here's what they found. The 3% of the class who had written goals and planned to reach them were earning on average 10 times as much as the other 97%. Ready for this? Combined. Combined. The 3% were making 10 times as much as the other 97% combined. And the only difference was they had a goal and a written plan to reach it. So you want to know why this is such a sad reality? Why real estate agents in North America, our latest data from Salary.com, look at that income, $37,948. You wonder why? No plan. No plan. And no strategic planning roadmap to get there. It's even worse. Look at that. 90% of the real estate agents make less than 60 grand. You know who makes that money? My mailman. The guy who delivers mail, who walks around the neighborhood all day, no stress, wearing headphones, listening to music, chilling outside, delivering mail. $51,390 per year. Same category. Zero stress, zero business expenses, zero need for education, nothing. Good life. So let's not do that. I mean, how do you live on $50,000 a year, for crying out loud? After you're paying your business expenses, after you pay your taxes, you live on $2,000, $3,000 a month. Fuck that. You can't live like that, people. Come on. So let's fix that today. I fixed it. This was me at the ripe age of 24, came to the United States, and I had this big dream. You know, I saw the ad, free real estate school, make hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I'm like, cool, this is cool. I'm going to chauffeur people around, make 6%. Jesus Christ, I'm going to be rich. Well, I had big hopes and dreams. My parents, first time they came out, took them to Disneyland, and I was hoping I'm going to chauffeur them in limo everywhere. We're going to stay in the most luxurious hotels, eat caviar and shrimp, and it's going to be amazing. Well, the problem was in my approach. Tell me if this sounds familiar to you. I would set a goal. I'm going to make $150,000. And then I would prospect. And I have to work hard. And I'm going to try several methods. I'm going to find one that works. And I'm going to shoehorn my lifestyle into that income. And that's how most people live, true or false, right? So that didn't work. That was a major failure. Pretty sad state of affairs. Now, unfortunately, majority of this industry still operates on that principle, right? You pull a number out of your ass that you say, okay, I'm going to go for 200 grand this year, and then just hope and pray you're going to get there. Now, let me ask you this. Do you feel you're on track? Less than 2 months in the year, do you feel you're going to reach your goals? Yes or no? Be honest. Now, I don't see your answer, unfortunately, on my screen right now, but Melissa, maybe some of you guys who are monitoring, tell me, are you on track? Do you feel like it's going to happen this year? It's going to be different? The answer is probably no, right? Not likely. The problem is the negative goal anchor, and this is why goals don't work. See, when you set a goal, I'm going to get a new car, I'm going to make 200,000, I'm going to do this, and you list like 3 or 4 or 5 things, maybe you put a vision board together. But when you start sliding off, not reaching these goals, suddenly reaffirming old programming and old beliefs about who you are, what it takes to succeed, how you feel about money, how you feel about success. So now your goals, instead of inspiring and pulling you, become a negative anchor dragging you down. And the reason I know that, because after 2 years in real estate, this was my house, my office, my car. I became homeless. They kicked me out of the little room I was renting in Downey, California. And this little Cadillac 81 DeVille, which I affectionately called the Rust Bucket, was my home. Because I used that approach. Set a goal, work hard. Didn't work. Now, fortunately, as they say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. I had 3 people who appeared almost simultaneously and changed my life. First was Mike Ferry, who kind of get my business in order, said, dude, you got it wrong. You got to do some prospecting, some active prospecting instead of sitting on your ass. Then Tony Robbins, who fixed my head because I realized how the beliefs and assumptions I had were holding me back. And then Frank Kern, who showed me the plan that I'm going to show you right now, the exercise, and taught me a lot about influence and marketing. And I went from life by default, where you live based on your income, to life by design, where you simply adjust your income to fit the lifestyle you want. And everything changed. I've been blessed and fortunate to enjoy time with the family and enjoy the good life. I want to do the same for you, where you just adjust your income to match the lifestyle you want. Now you're probably sitting there going, yeah, Borino, easy for you to say, but how? Which in fact is an excellent question. That's what we're going to spend the rest of this webinar on. How? How do you get there? In order for you to get there, you need to know 2 points. Just like your GPS in your car. It needs to know 2 points: where you are, exactly where you are, and exactly where you're going. So we'll take your current lifestyle, and we're going to set your ideal lifestyle. And we're going to put together a roadmap to get you there. So, where are you? Take a quick stock. If you look back at the last 12 months, we sometimes have a tendency to kind of beat ourselves up. I know I sometimes do. But where are you really? Would you list 3 things? Write down 3 things you did really well over the last 12 months. Something you're proud of, something that produced good results for you, something you want to do more of. Write them down real quick. And please type done when you're done. And Melissa, if you would be so kind, let me know when folks are done. We're going to move on. Write it down real quick. 3 things you did really well. Sorry, Melissa. I meant Monica.
That's fine. I gotcha. All right, let's see. Got a couple people saying done.
Awesome. Do it real quick. The beautiful thing is in speed. You don't need to overthink this. On contrary, when you try to overthink it, you start overanalyzing. It's going to lead you astray. Go from the heart real quick. 3 things you did really well. Okay, I'll give you 5 more
Yeah,
seconds.
a lot of people typed in. Yep.
Okay, awesome. Now I want you to write down 3 things you have to fix. What went sideways on you? What are the 3 things you, looking back, think this is the cause of the trouble, or this is the cause that's holding me back? What are the 3 things? What do you think it is? Now remember, there's no wrong answer. It's usually the first 3 things that pop in your head. Write them down real quick. Okay? Now, even if you did this in the past, remember that life changes, plans and goals change. Redo this once in a while. What I want to share with you is a plan that I call the $161,870 plan. And you'll see why I call it that in just a moment. But this is a plan I actually put together as an exercise with one of my private clients. So it's the same steps we took that got her on track and allowed her to build the lifestyle she wanted. Do this with me. The monkey brain will try to distract you. I need to check email. I need to send a text. I need to check Facebook. He has a funny accent. Who is this guy anyway? Push that all aside. Do this with me right now. Grab a piece of paper if you haven't already. You're going to need a paper, a calculator. Your phone is good enough. And let's start taking a snapshot of where you are. Remember the 2 points. We need to know where you are, and we need to know where you're going. So let's do this. List the ongoing expenses, because the formula I'm going to show you revolves around money. Money will give you freedom, the lifestyle. But first we need to know how much. So let's list them. How much do you spend on your house payment right now? If you don't know the exact number, it's fine. Good enough is good enough. What is it? Whether you pay rent, you shouldn't, or you pay mortgage. What is it? PITI, of course. What is your current car payment, including insurance? Now, these numbers you see on your screen are from my client. She gave me permission to share them with you guys. Plug in your numbers real quick. Number 3, how much do you spend on clothes? Average it out. Good enough is good enough. Doesn't need to be dollar perfect. How about date nights and dinners? Write down, what do you spend on date nights and dinners right now, if you average it out over a period of a month? What about your health? Do you have a health insurance you have to pay? How much is it? Write it down. How about your cell phone? What's your average monthly bill for your cell phone? What about your house utilities and maintenance? How much does it cost for your household? We're talking just household now. Write down the number. How about groceries? Okay, in her case, it was $480. What do you think you spend a month on groceries? Now, add it all up. This will be your total home expenses. If you have anything else, please add it under miscellaneous. Just estimate. It's good enough. Do this. You'll see how much value you're going to do just by doing this. The clarity, the stress comes from not being clear. Once you are clear, it'll make everything a lot easier. Write it down real quick. Let me know when you're done, please. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at other monthly expenses. Your internet, television, Netflix, entertainment. How about vacations and trips? Now, break this up annually divided by 12. So estimate, what does it cost? How about child expenses? She had 2 daughters, so her expenses were $320. What about you? Ooh, big one, credit card payments. The dreaded credit cards. I'll show you a little trick she did. Hers was $381. What do you think? If you add up all your credit cards, how much does it cost you? And then anything else. Now I want you to add up these expenses in your household as your current lifestyle expenses, not your business, just current lifestyle. What does it cost you right now to live the lifestyle you have? In her case, $6,712. Your numbers may be higher, maybe lower, it doesn't matter. It's just a number. Just knowing this will bring you clarity. You must know where your money goes. Okay? Do this quick. Move quickly. Because as you start slowing down, you start overthinking it, that's going to bog you down. Everybody good? All right. Now, the clarity you're looking for, the ease you're looking for, the relief of the stress is knowing exactly where you are and what you want, because it will replace the ambiguous and abstract and very often very frustrating feeling of, I just want more. And when you get more, it doesn't feel right. So being clear will give you confidence and will replace motivation, which is based on push and discipline, with drive and inspiration. Much easier way to do that. So here's a question. What has to happen in your business for you to feel happy with your progress? If you look back, let's say we have this conversation a year from now, and you look back, what would you tell me happened that you would be proud of? What do you want to happen in the next 12 months in order for you to feel happy? Think about it just for a second. Write it down. Write down the first 1, 2, or 3 things that come to mind. Let this inspire you. And then what has to happen in your life for you to feel happy with your progress? Write them down. Be specific. So let me share what she came up with. One of her big dreams and big things that would make her very happy was this bad boy, this Lexus LS460, and the sticker on it was $55,370. So we broke it down. We took the price, the trade-in of her little minivan, $9,110. That would make a loan of $46,260. Her car payment would be $844. Insurance $153. Total payment $997. That was her thing. Now she had a few more, and I'll share with you in just a moment. But what stands out for you? Tangible, intangible. A vacation, a new home. What is it? And what will it cost? So this is our final roadmap that we put together of things that would make her happy in the next 12 months. First was that LS460, good choice if you ask me. It would cost $11,964. She would like to pay off her debt. She had $11,590 in credit card debt. It would make her very happy to pay it off. Private school for her 2 girls, 2 vacations, one in the summer, one in the winter, fine dining, some nice restaurants. Put $2,000 a month into savings. That would save $24,000. For birthdays and Christmas and fun, $2,320. And then miscellaneous expenses, $4,200. Like she wanted to get a housekeeper, stuff like that. That's her list. What is on your list? Write it down and estimate. Estimate what is it going to cost. Do it real quick. And please type done when you're finished. Let's give it a few more seconds. It's just good enough. If it's just an estimate, it's good enough. Make sure it's inspiring you. Make sure you feel good about it. Make sure you're inspired by it. Make sure you're excited about it. That's what you're looking for. Don't let the numbers put you off. Go by the emotion of the level of excitement and what you're willing to sacrifice and do to reach that lifestyle in the next 12 months. Okay, can we move on? Would that be cool?
Yeah, we have a couple people. Only a couple people have said done, but
okay, I'm going to give you a few more seconds, guys.
Yeah, give us just a few more.
Sure.
It's such a great exercise.
Isn't it great? Yeah, just being clear like this, it brings joy and passion, and it refuels your business by being clear what you're after.
Okay, we've got several more flying in, so I think
All
people
right.
are on the move.
Good. Yeah. Make
And-
this a pretty swift exercise, because what normally happens if you start analyzing, well, that's not realistic, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, and it's again that monkey brain that's going to butt in. Where if you just go on pure emotion and joy and excitement of all the possibilities, that's going to serve you a lot more. Okay. So now we're going to go through the same numbers, but this time we're going to adjust the numbers based on your ideal lifestyle, the one you're building, the one you're after, the one you're going. In her case, mortgage hasn't changed. Has yours changed? Do you want to live better? How much will it cost per month? Write it down. Car payment and insurance, adjusted to $997 because she wanted that LS460. What about you? Same car or a new car? Clothes, she wanted to upgrade the wardrobe a little, look fancy. So she estimated $480. Date night and dinner is a little more fun, having good times in restaurants. Healthcare hasn't changed. Cell phone, same. House utilities and maintenance. Having a cleaning lady come in. Little fancier on groceries, maybe buy a nice wine. Add it all up. What is your ideal household going to cost? And if the drunken monkey shows up again, just tell, hey, shh, get lost. I'm building something cool here. I'm doing something worthwhile. Okay? Write it down. Add it all up. Put it back. So if your mortgage, car, clothes, late nights and dinners, health, cell phone, house and utilities, groceries. Total it up. Now, if you have other stuff, just please add it to it. Do it quick. Okay? Now let's do the other lifestyle part. That's the internet, television, vacations. They go up, $1195. Child expenses, that's the private school for the 2 girls. Credit card payments, remember, we're going to pay off the credit cards. So it changes to $965. Birthday gifts and Christmas, miscellaneous, plus $2,000 in savings every month. That means the ideal lifestyle, the lifestyle you're after with all the good stuff you want. In her case, it was $12,820. What do you have? What did you come up with? Add it all up. Okay. So now, you have the ideal lifestyle. In her case, if you add up, multiply by 12, she came up with $153,840. That's what it's going to cost. Your number will be different, maybe lower, maybe higher. Doesn't matter. It's just a number. But you have to have a number that you want to reach in the next 12 months. That's what you're after. That's the goal. That's the ideal lifestyle we're building. Write it down. Now we're going to pay Uncle Sam. Estimate what is it going to cost in terms of taxes. We're going to add taxes to it, obviously. So take a guess. The next number you need to know is, what do you think it's going to cost you to run your business? What approximately is it going to cost? Your business expenses, they usually hover around 20%, give or take, of the income. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but somewhere around there. So estimate, what is it going to cost to run your business? MLS fees, gas, marketing, education, lockboxes, that kind of stuff. Write it down. Next number is just an add-on. Just add it all up. You're going to add up lifestyle plus taxes plus business. Lifestyle plus taxes plus business. Okay? That's your total income needed. That's what you need. That's what she needed. She needed $221,000. Now, in her case, her husband was making $59,000, so we subtracted it. You can use your spousal income if you want. Just subtract it if you want. You don't have to. It's going to work either way. But in her case, we subtracted it. So that means she needed to make $161,870 in real estate to her. That's her net commissions. That's why this is called a $161,870 plan. That was the plan. That was the plan we needed to reach in 12 months. What is it for you? $250,000, $500,000, 150,000? Write it down. Okay? There are two more pieces to this. Next, what's your average commission? If you sell a house tomorrow, now I know it varies by price range and style, but if you average it out, like in her case, it was $9,910. What about you? Write it down. And then all we have to do is divide the income by the commission. That will give us the total of transactions needed to get to the ideal lifestyle. What is it for you? Divide the lifestyle amount with the commission amount to get the transaction amount. Everybody got it? So you should now have the number of transactions needed to build your ideal lifestyle. In her case, 16 deals. Now, you may have 5, you may have 10, you may have 30, you may have 50. The roadmap doesn't change. The number changes. That's it. But the formula is the same. In order for you to reach your ideal lifestyle, you need an X number of transactions. In your case, too. It's actually less. It's 1.36 transactions per month. That's the whole formula. Then it's just a matter of getting there. Now, how do I get there? Excellent question. You need to focus on 3 moving parts. And that's the whole secret to having a profitable real estate business. There is so much noise and so much confusion about, I need to do this and I need to do nonsense. There are 3 things you got to focus on. If you focus on these 3 things every day, you're going to thrive. The reason you struggle and the reason you're not at the income level we're going to be, one of these pieces in this machine, in this real estate profit machine, is missing or broken. So the part number 1, that's really the foundation of your business, is having a solid stream of leads. That's why I'm such a big fan of the tool like Espresso, because that can help you immensely get leads, get expireds, get FSBOs. But whether you do expireds or FSBOs, whether you do other lead generation, you must have a funnel. You must have a system that predictably generates you solid stream of leads daily. That's the foundation. Without that, you're dead. It's over. You don't have a business, you have a hobby. Leads lead into appointments. That means you need to have a follow-up to keep in touch with those leads, to convert them into appointments, and then through appointments, you're going to get listings. That's the whole model. That's the whole formula. If you're struggling, if you're not hitting your lifestyle and not having the cash flow you want, problem is one of these 3 or more. No question about it. Either you're not getting enough leads, you don't have a good follow-up, you're not going enough appointments, or you have a sucky listing presentation, you're not getting enough listings. That's it. Then it's just a matter of focusing on WAR clients. WAR, W-A-R. Willing to work with you, willing to pay you, being approachable, able to move, are in a position to move, and ready. Now or in the very near future. I would consider lead anybody within 6 months. Because if it's more than 6 months in the future, it's too vague. They're not a lead, they're a suspect. WAR, always focus on WAR clients, willing, able, ready, always, always. All your lead generation, all your follow-up, and all your presentation should be to WAR clients only. Now, I promise you we're going to fix the money problem. So I'm going to give it to you right now. But please, pay attention to the monkey, because it's going to jump all over this. I know it did when first time I heard this. So here it is. More quality leads will fix 50% of your income problems. All it takes is better quality, and more quantity leads. Your problem will go away. More quality listings will fix the other 50%. If you know how to get both leads and listings, your income problems will go away. So how? Well, it's a matter of having the systems in place. System like Espresso, system like the Expired Plus, Borino, and so on. This is one of my clients. His name is Paul Rallo. Sent me a picture of his vision board. I got this, about 10 days ago or so. One of his goals was this little Benz. You can tell I'm into cars, right? So one of his dreams came true. This is actually a vision board Paul put together. And if you look at picture here, his big dream, the lifestyle dream, was a boat. So last, I believe, October, this became his baby. He did this exercise with me. He put some things on the board. Travel. If you look at the vision board, especially on the top, they did some travel to Aruba, to Caribbean, and having a lot of fun. And then he got his toy. So now, spend 80% of your day on generating leads, turning those leads into appointments and getting listings. That's the answer. It's because where you are today is a result of your mind, emotions, and your actions 90 days ago. Your income today is the result, your income today is the result of your effort 90 days ago. There's a direct equation. Not enough money means not enough focus, not enough effort, and not enough time spent on getting leads and getting listings. And I know it sounds really simplistic, but that's the answer. Here's what it means. Where you are today is the result of your focus, your beliefs, and your expectations, and as a result, your actions. About 3 months ago. That's the bad news. That means there's nothing you can do right now. It's like the giant ship. It's going to take a little while to steer. The good news is you can completely adjust your course where you're going to be 90 days from now. That's the beautiful thing about real estate. It doesn't take years to rebuild. It doesn't take years to change the course. And it doesn't take years to see the different results. Have you done the exercises? You're stepping closer. Are you just sitting there fucking around with Facebook, being entertained? You're stepping away. It's these little actions, these little steps daily that it'll get you closer or pull you further away. The next step for this to work is be clear who you want to work with. Make your perfect client list. This is important for 2 reasons. Number one, it will help you clearly identify who you want to work with. Who is that perfect client you're after? That's that clarity again we've been talking about. But it will also work as a filter. See, my approach, my passion, my language, and my attitude turns off a lot of people. I'm perfectly okay with that because they don't match my perfect client, my perfect student. So make a list right now. Who is it that you're after? Who do you want to work with? Who fits your perfect client? Now, here's my list. I want somebody who's friendly and agreeable. Number 2, willing to work with me. Number 3, ready to pay for my service. They appreciate and understand what I do. They see value in it. Number 4, they follow my advice. If I tell them you got to repair this, they do. If I tell them to replace that, they do. They understand that their best interest, I have their best interest at heart. Number 5, they have reasonable expectations in terms of price, commission, money, time, all that. Number 6, they have a high CDE. That stands for core driving emotion. That determines how bad do they want to move, how realistic they are, and how I can help them. Number 7, they're loyal. And number 8, they're honest. What is your list? Write it down real quick. All the attributes that really matter to you. Who do you want to work with? Do it now. So once you have your list, don't compromise. Do not compromise. It's because having these high standards, high expectations, and high integrity is very attractive. It attracts the right people to you. It makes you feel better. And it helps your business stay loyal to the people you like, you enjoy working with, who appreciate you, who fit. And you will send a signal out, and suddenly these people will start showing up.
Hey, Borino.
Yeah.
What does your acronym CDE stand for?
Oh, good question. It stands for core driving emotion. It is the emotion that drives people to move. That's either something very painful and unpleasant that they're trying to get away from, or something really pleasurable that they're excited about. So, for example, a desire for comfort is a core driving emotion. They want to live in a nice, comfortable neighborhood. A noisy street on which they live, let's say they live on a busy street, can be a core driving emotion. It's the getting away from that. So it is the intensity of core driving emotion that determines their motivation. So I want people who are motivated, who have a strong drive to live somewhere else. We're not like, if we sell in a year, it's fine. If not, we can just stay here. So it's the opposite of that. Okay, good question.
Great, thanks.
All right. So now you have your list. Keep this list in mind. And I'll tell you something from personal experience. Every single time I violated my perfect client list, it bit me in the ass. It came back. And I had to admit, you know what? I knew I violated it. I wanted to make the deal happen. And I wanted the listing, and I shouldn't have. Don't. Be true to your list. Be true to your standards. And as you'll see in just a moment, there are plenty of good clients out there, plenty of nice people who will appreciate you, who would love to work with you, who will enjoy working with you and will gladly pay you. You got to drop the scarcity mentality. So now, where do you find these people? How do you find these leads? My recommendation is start with the low-hanging fruit first. Start with the easy ones where you don't have to sift through a bunch of neighborhoods or phone numbers or whatever to find the right one. Fire up Espresso, get new expireds, get old expireds, get FISBOs. That would be the easiest ones out there because they've already been identified for you. You already know they want to do something. They're already in the process. So new and old expireds for sold by owners. Do an open house once in a while because the people who come through clearly have some kind of desire to do something. Work your sphere of influence and then have an online campaign. If you just do these funnels, these 5, you'll be plenty of busy. These are the easiest listings. There's no easier, less expensive method than these. Now, I always encourage you, focus on sellers. Don't work with buyers. You're going to drive your business to the ground, and they're going to drive you nuts. And some of you are nodding their head right now. Am I right? If you work listings, you control your time, you control your effort, you control your clients, you control your business and your income. You cannot do that with buyers. I mean, think about it. It's no coincidence that all the top producers, all the people who are doing $250,000, $500,000, none of them are buyer's agent. They have buyer's agent. But you don't see a top producer driving around in a Rolls Royce showing property on the weekend. So don't do that. Focus on listings. Focus on now business. So you set up these funnels, expireds, FISBOs, referrals, and let's say an open house. Now you can get these systems like I have a system for expireds and FISBOs and open house. And then you plug it in with Espresso, you're in business. That's all you need. Don't overthink this. It is not as complicated as it seems. So now, let's look at it on a breakdown. This is what I did with my client. Your list will be different. Your numbers will be different, but this will be a good baseline to kind of get you started, get you oriented. Do this quickly. Again, this is where the monkey brain will try to jump in and confuse you. Don't let it. This will be something you're going to rework anyway. You're going to come back to it because your systems will change. Time of the year will change. Your skills will improve. But here's the list we came up with. This is the actual roadmap to get there. So we focus on expireds, new and old, FISBOs, referral, open house, and then other. That would be maybe online advertising, direct mail, that kind of stuff, sign calls. So we broke it down. Break it down. Now, because you probably have not tracked this, you will not have the exact numbers, and that's okay. You are where you are. What I encourage you to do from now on, keep track. How many leads, how many appointments, and how many listings. Now, you want to know the secret why people don't actually track this? It's not because they're lazy or disorganized. It's because they don't want to know the truth, that they're fucking around, they're not doing enough, they're not busy enough, they're not productive enough. That's why we don't do that. So start. Hold yourself accountable because nobody else will. Okay, so we broke it down. 7 will come from expired, 7 listings, 4 FISBOs, 2 referrals, 2 open house, and 1 other. And actually turned out to be pretty damn close to that. Okay, so now we knew where the business is going to come from approximately. Then we're going to need some appointments. Remember, the connection is listings, appointments, leads. So it's going to take twice as many appointments to get those listings. Her closing ratio, and that was kind of disappointing to me because she was my student, she was doing only 50%. You want to do better than that. And if you have the presentation plus, you should, but that's neither here nor there. So how many appointments will it take in order for you to get a listing? Now, I can tell you, if you do even less than 50%, you're giving business away. It's costing you money. You got to fix your presentation. So what is it right now? Where are you? Write it down. First, write down where you will focus your time, effort, and energy on in generating leads. How many listings do you project to get out of that? And how many appointments? And here's the cool thing about this approach. Within the next 30 days, you will know exactly where you stand. You will have enough data to go back to this and adjust the numbers, either fix something that's broken or replace it if it's not performing for you. Everybody good? So write it down real quick. All right. The last part is leads, because that's your whole formula. Leads to appointments, to listings, to commissions, to lifestyle, to cars, travel. Good stuff. How many leads does it take in order for you to get an appointment? What's your best guess? Is it 1 out of 10, 1 out of 5, somewhere in between? My guess would be for many agents, it's somewhere in between. It's going to take about 10 leads for brand new agents to convert into an appointment. For rock stars who have systems in place and been at it for a while, it's probably half that, 5 leads. So where are you? Are you somewhere in the middle? Estimate. And just plug in your numbers. So in her case, 1 out of 10 FISBOs turns into an appointment, for example. So plug it in. She needed 10 leads for an appointment. What do you need? All right, let me give you a few more seconds. Let's wrap this up. Got it? From now on, and you can use a calendar, you can use Notepad, you can use your smartphone, start tracking. Number of leads you get, how many appointments those leads generated, and how many listings, and then how many listings turn into commissions. It'll be so much easier to plan, take stock where you are, what's working, what's not working, if you know those basic numbers. Okay, so now, this is how we broke it down. Commissions, transactions, listing appointment, leads. Then you break it down by month. Simply divide by 12, by week, and now you know. Now you can comfortably plan what is it going to take to get there. So let's say you work 6 days a week. You shouldn't, but let's say you're building momentum, trying to get there. If you work 6 days a week, it's going to take 1 lead a day to get to your goal. 1 lead a day. That's 25 leads a month. That's 300 leads a year. That means 1 appointment, give or take, 3 a month, 30 per year. 1.3 listings, 16 closings, 16 transactions, 16 listings. That's the plan. So here we are on Tuesday. Before you close the shop tonight, you can comfortably plan and clearly have a plan. What do you need to focus on tomorrow to get your 1 lead a day, 2 leads a day, 0.2 leads a day, whatever you come up with? But there's no more ambiguity. There's no more confusion. Now you have clarity. And at the end of tomorrow, you will clearly know, did I succeed? Was it a productive day? Did I get my lead? Did I get my number of appointments I needed and all that? This is a great accountability tool. And there's another benefit to it. You want to increase your income, you simply increase these numbers. That's it. You add another funnel or you improve the funnel you already have. That's the whole answer. You don't need to overthink this. Okay? But you notice that the leads are always the foundation of your business. That's where it starts. Having a good lead generation funnel and having tools like Espresso will help you. So in her case, this was the answer. 1 new lead per day equaled perfect lifestyle. That's it. You can create a direct equation and a direct connection from how many leads per day you need to generate, and then through follow-up, create appointments and listings to get to your ideal lifestyle. Now, you need to break it down into 2 separate groups, 2 buckets, if you will. Active marketing and passive marketing. They're both good, they both work, they're both important, and they both generate business. There are 2 distinct differences, though, and you need to be aware of them. Active marketing is like hunting, where you're taking active approach, reaching out to your potential leads. In passive marketing, you're waiting for them to make the first move. The downside of passive marketing is twofold. One, it can be pretty expensive. Passive marketing would be something like running a seller campaign on Facebook, or doing direct mail campaign where people need to respond to your postcard, or having a billboard, or having a bench ad. They need to reach out first. It can be costly. And the problem number 2 is you cannot create a predictable, accurate plan. How many people will see it? How many people respond? How much business you're going to get out of it? That's impossible to do. Where if you do active marketing, after about 30 days of contacting expired listings, you can have a very accurate picture how many expireds you get on average per day, how many of those you have good numbers for, good emails, how many of those you can actually contact and reach, how many of those you turn into appointments, and then consequently listings. So it's much more reliable. Now, I encourage you, use both. Nothing wrong with either one. Just be aware that if you want to have predictable, controllable business, your focus, 80% of your time, effort, money, and energy must be spent on active marketing. That's why I'm such a huge fan of expireds and FISBOs, sphere of influence, because you can actively prospect these and control the results. Now, with active marketing, when I say active prospecting, that involves all channels of communication. For it to work, you need to open them all up, not just one, all of them. That means you call, you text, you mail, you visit, you email, use social media, use video. That means you plan these, you incorporate these into your day, into your week, into your month, and then you track it. This is my man, Tony Ciaramella, one of my students. Been pretty busy on FISBO under contract, inspections tomorrow. Another FISBO listed on Monday, at least 20 showings. We're under contract tonight. Going to list an expire tomorrow night, also helping them buy a home for commissions, active prospecting. Tony's crushing it. Like Sergeant Borino says, just do it. Get out there, make the contacts, and make the phone calls. So if Tony can do 3 listings in 7 days, why not you? He's just doing what we're talking about today. Active prospecting, having a plan, and executing it daily. Working, low-hanging fruit.
Hey, Borino?
Yeah.
Can you, for the group, explain your definition of a true lead, like so that we're not kidding ourselves when we think, oh, that was our lead for the day. You know, how do we define a qualified lead?
That is an excellent question. That's a really good question, Monica. Here's the definition of lead. First, you're going to have 2 types of leads. You're going to have active leads and potential leads. And the difference is this. With an active lead, you have a conversation. That means you either talked to them on the phone, you met them in person, there was some kind of interaction between the 2 of you. With a potential lead, there was no conversation. So if you have a for sale by owner or an expired listing, you reached out, but you didn't get hold of, that becomes a potential lead. Now, they both have one thing in common. You intend to do something more with them. In other words, you intend to either call them back, you intend to drop off your expired package from the expired plat, you intend to email them something, you intend to take another step with them. So if you have a potential seller, hopefully, whether you reach them or not, whether the conversation did take place or not, just turns them into either actual or potential lead. But if you intend to do something else, that counts as a lead. Now, of course, preferably you want to have actual leads, because through the conversation with these people, you can determine, can I help them? Are they a war client? Are they willing? Are they able? Are they ready? Are they realistic? Do they have a high core driving emotion? Are they motivated? But there will be times where it's going to be almost impossible to get hold of some of these people. I had expireds, potential leads, where I would reach out. I would call if you had the number. Let's say you don't have the number. I would drop off my expired package. I would mail them something. I would put them on a strong, aggressive follow-up. And I wouldn't hear from them for weeks, sometimes months. And then out of nowhere, 3 months later, my phone would ring and they say, oh, this is Mr. Jones over on Oak Street. We've been seeing your name all over the place. I want you to come down and talk to us about our house. We want to sell. I had no idea how Mr. Jones on Oak Street was. But I would pull up my contact management system, and there he was. A potential lead that was getting pinged by all those media that I showed you that turned into an actual lead. So that's the definition. If you intend to do something with it, they are either a potential lead or an actual lead. Your focus primarily should be on actual leads, because the magic of the influence and the conversion happens in a conversation where you actually have a chance to talk to them, even briefly. And even if sometimes they'll tell you, no, we don't want to do anything. We're not interested. Many times they feel that. It's not that they're lying to you. Yes, sometimes they're bastards and they're lying, but many times they're not. It's because they're so fed up. And you see this with expireds a lot. You know, they get bombarded by agents and they're pissed off and the market is this and our agent was that, and they're all angry and they're like, we don't want to deal with this. And I can tell you how many deals I lost because of this, you know? The seller would be like, no, 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 we're not moving anywhere. Thanks for stopping by. Goodbye. And they were so convincing. A month later, Coldwell Banker sign in the front yard. I'm like, shit, they just told me they're not going anywhere. Well, at the time, they believe it as well. So it's through nurturing, through a little bit of a follow-up, a little bit of a reaching out, you'd be surprised how many change their mind. Those are the leads you need. Try to have a conversation if you can. Okay? My man Renee, not a go-getter, super rock star with Remax Realty Specialist, sold 2 expireds in 1 week, made $28,217. Just active marketing, active prospecting. These are my students, Roger and Rosie, great people down. You can't find nicer couple agents down in Texas, crushing it, 6 closings in 1 month, just doing active prospecting, active marketing. There's a friend of mine, Jim Steely, another great agent, 6 new listings in the last 30 days, all from expireds. Keep doing what Borino says, it works. It's possible. It's within your reach. Now, yes, it's hard. This is hard work, guys. This is not easy by no stretch of imagination. But here's the thing. Hard work makes you stretch. It makes you challenge yourself. It makes you expect more of yourself. And it makes you better. Because think about it this way. If this was easy, if you got your license, got in, and it was easy, then anybody could be doing it. You would not be making thousands of dollars. You would be making commission that people make selling, I don't know, hot dogs. That's why it's hard. That's why it's so challenging, because it helps you grow. And it's the daily choice, the daily little choices we make that are bringing us closer or pulling us further away. Did you do the exercise, or did you have a reason not to? Did you write down the numbers, or did you say, I'm going to do it later? So you're going to have only one of two things. You're going to come up with reasons, and you're going to come up with results. Never both. Never both. And where it becomes dangerous is many of the reasons seem very real, seem authentic, where they validate, but they will also hold you in place. You're going to be stuck. Work that muscle towards your success habits, where you don't accept reasons, you only accept results. You only focus on results, nothing less. Because that's what's going to separate those who earn and those who don't. It's the story you buy into. It's the story you've been telling yourself. It's the explanations, the bullshit you bought into some time ago, just like I did. Money is hard to come by. And I had all these bullshit notions about success and money. And many of them are valid. Many of them are real. The trouble was, many of them were keeping me back. It's the scarcity mentality more than anything that can damage or even prevent you completely from building the ideal lifestyle we talked about today. And it has nothing to do with the market. It has nothing to do with the reality out there. It's all bullshit. Look at these numbers. This is from the National Association of Realtors. Look at this number down here. Sales, number of existing transactions, 5.61 million units sold. That's a lot of business out there. You got to drop this scarcity mentality. There is tons of business all around you. So no more of this small stuff, fighting for scraps, fighting for one little listing here and there. Bullshit. No, homes are being sold all the time, every minute. There will be over 5 million transactions this year. There's tons of business, 15,369 a day. Think about that number, 15,369 a day. Tons of business all around you. Got to get some. Whether you come on board, get the FIS Borino, get the expired, whether you're using Espresso, there are people out there doing it right now. This very moment, somebody's in your town signing a listing contract. Why not you? So it's time to pop the training wheels off. Let's get you going. There's plenty of business, plenty of nice clients out there who do need your help, and they're willing to pay you. They're willing to pay you handsomely. You deserve it. Don't you think you deserve it? I do. So here's the question you got to ask yourself. What do I need to focus on every day to build my business and my ideal lifestyle in the next 90 days? Write this down. Put it somewhere where you can see it. I'm not joking. Write this down. What do I need to focus on every day to build my business and my ideal lifestyle in the next 90 days? What is it? What tools do I need? What systems do I need to reach those goals? Who are my ideal clients? How can I find them? Because, I mean, it's going to be hard anyway. Nobody ever promised us easy. I was broke and it was hard. Now I'm wealthy, thank God, I'm grateful. Not bragging, just saying it's still hard. It's going to be hard either way. Will it require some work and dedication building the lifestyle you want? Of course. Will you have to break out of your comfort zone? You bet. But here's the question. Is it worth it? 100% yes. Because what's the alternative? I mean, think about it. You're going to struggle. You're going to live in mediocrity, driving some fucking Toyota, living in a 3-bedroom apartment. Seriously? Just getting by? Or worse, you're going to give up and quit? You know how bad that must feel? You give up because you failed. Not because you chose. You see, I got out of real estate because I wanted to coach. I got so inspired by teaching you guys. Nothing else mattered to me more. I didn't quit because I was a failure. That's how you want to leave, if you choose to leave. But that's not you. You can't give up and quit. Listen, we've been at this for what? Hour and 15 minutes now. Whether we've met before, maybe I met you in one of my seminars. If I did, awesome. I appreciate you. But it doesn't matter. There's one thing I know. You stayed here because you want to learn this stuff. You want to get better. You being here means you're ambitious, you're willing to work, you're open-minded, you're learnable. And then you want to roll up your sleeves and actually go to work. You do want to help a bunch of clients and get paid well. Because you want to provide for you, your family, people. Am I right? So how do you get there? What are the 3 secrets? Well, here are the 3 things you must have in place. First, you must have an unbelievable desire. If you just kind of maybe sort of want it, you're fucked. It's not going to work. You must want it so bad that not getting it, not an option. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to have some systems in place. That's why I so like doing these for Espresso, because I think it's a killer system. I believe out of all of them out there, this is the one I would choose. And then the third part is you got to take action. You got to take action. It's not going to be perfect, but here's what I say. Imperfect action beats good intention any day. Imperfect action beats good intention any day. So I want to show you, like if you come on board and get the Expired Plus, I will show you can be the solution. You will see that you can set up appointments sometimes within minutes. You will actually hear an actual phone call to an actual expired where the appointment was set in, what, 3 or 4 minutes. There are 3 steps you need to know you want to beat your competition, and the whole system can be somewhat automated. Now, I'm talking about the Expired Plus now. You will see that it's so important to make a high-impact first impression when you talk to high-probability leads. Now, if you come on board, you're going to get a complete marketing library. There's a 16-piece follow-up sequence and a lot of tricks to really good follow-up, because leads by themselves are not going to pay your bills, obviously, in appointments and listings. So that's why I created the Expired Plus. That's what the system is for. Where you get a free trial of my listing university. There's loaded with some advanced strategies, the membership site. You're going to get the objection buster, so the experts will be very easy to talk to. It's all packaged with a quick start video tutorials that will help you get up and running very quickly, but it's not the whole thing. You and I will personally get on the phone and you will have an implementation session with me. Because the last thing I want is to take your money and then it's going to sit on your shelf where you're not getting leads, you're not helping people, you're not getting paid. So you're going to go through the videos real quick. You're going to read the book you're going to get in mail. And then I'll help you set it up. So if that's something that you want to get into, you want to accelerate, you want to get a system, I have one for expired. It's called the Expired Plus. There is one for FISBOs, but this is the one I would start with. And it's only 2 payments of $199. That's what the program is about. That's my whole big pitch. Now, you may have questions. That's our number in our office. Or you can email me. That's the whole thing. Now, you probably have a couple of questions, I would imagine. We can chat.
Borino, it's Monica. I have a question, actually.
Please.
Could you, first of all, I wrote down many quotes, but I love the one, it's hard either way. I mean, that's such an obvious statement that I've never really digested.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was worth saying again. It's hard either way if you're starving and struggling and hating life and, bill collectors, and that's actually harder than I think doing the work every day, right?
Yeah. It's going to be hard either way.
Amazing.
And I tell you, the worst place to be in, if it's really hard, and I'm telling you, living in a car, that's about as hard as it gets. That's not a lot of fun. But because it's so uncomfortable, it's going to help you really break through. In most cases, it helped me to get out of it fairly quickly. So that's fine. The biggest trap, Monica, is not even being homeless. The biggest trap is being somewhere in the middle, where you're not miserable enough to really get out of the rut, but you're not excited enough and you don't have the lifestyle good enough to continue. You're right there in the middle. I call it the Toyota Corolla syndrome, where, yeah, it's going to get you from point A to point B, but it's not that exciting, That's the worst place to be. So the way you're going to get there is one of two ways. Either you're going to create a lot of pain, which is what I did. I don't recommend it. It's effective. I just don't recommend it. Or you're going to create a lifestyle, and that's what I wanted to do with you guys today, where you're so excited, you're so pumped that it simply sucks you in there. It's going to pull you where you can't help it and not get there. But don't look for easy. This is not going to be easy any way you look at it. Being struggling and broke is going to be hard. Being mediocre is even harder because you can see the potential opportunity. And when you realize you wasted it, that's pretty painful. And then being a rock star is hard. Being wealthy, running a successful business is hard. There's stress and there's responsibility. But here's the difference. Money. Money makes all the difference. Money will not solve all your problems, but money will give you freedom because money will give you options. Where you no longer have to decide based on a price tag. You simply decide based on your choice, based on what pleases you, based on what's the best choice. Whether it comes to where you live, how you live, who you associate with, how you travel, and all that. Money will give you that freedom. That's what makes money so cool. That you don't decide based on how much it's going to cost, but do I want this? Is this something worthwhile for me? Do I want to pursue it? Whether it's tangible, a nice car, a nice home, nothing wrong with that. Or something more altruistic, more intangible. That's what money will do. That's why I believe, I'm not trying to be funny or cute here, being wealthy is better. Because now you not only can help yourself, because when you're broke, you can't help anybody. You're screwed. You're going to be desperate. You cannot run a profitable business or successful business. You're just kind of stuck. But when you're wealthy, you can help yourself. You can help other people. You can contribute to society through your work as a good agent. And God knows we need good agents. And maybe more than that. Maybe through social work, maybe through education. I don't know. There are hundreds of things you can do to make this world a better place. But you can only do that if you have that freedom, financial freedom. Because if you just preoccupy 12 hours a day struggling how you're going to pay your bills, you're not helping anybody, especially not yourself. So that's a really good point. Anything else?
So, yeah, one other question. Earlier on in the webinar, you said you used the term negative goal anchor. Can you just give me another sentence or two on that for us? What does that mean? Expand on that a little bit.
Here's what it means. Come December, you're going to start planning your new year, right? This is what I want to achieve during the next year. You're going to list a set of goals that you want to achieve. The trouble is, pretty soon, and for many people, like on the last session I did 70%, we're already off track. Where it was already clear 1 month in that most of those goals they will never reach, or it's going to take a lot longer, or it's going to be a lot harder. Now what's happening, you're reaffirming subconsciously in your mind, I am not the person who reaches goals. I don't deserve, I'm not worthy of it. You start reaffirming all that negative programming that's holding you in place in the first place. So now those goals just remind you of the gap of what you don't have and where you are and where you cannot go, where it's impossible to reach or it's super hard to reach, which will not empower you or inspire you. Instead, it's going to hold you back. You're going to feel more stress, you're going to feel more tension, and you're going to reaffirm, I am not the person who will get that, who deserves that, or has the skill or the knowledge to get that. All those bullshit stories we tell ourselves. That's the trouble with negative goals, with negative anchors. So first, you got to break that pattern. You need to reset who you are, who you believe you are, what you deserve, that you're worthy, the money, the success, the status, and everything else that you're after. And it's going to take a little bit of work. That doesn't happen overnight. But the good news is you can start today. You can start right now. You will not get there overnight, but you sure as hell can start positioning yourself that way. And it does require some work. Like one of the things that helped me is Tony Robbins. I started studying this. Why is it that our subconscious is so powerful? Why do we operate on so many habits? And why did I have so many shitty habits? And it stems from, again, your thoughts and your beliefs. So one of the things I would recommend is Tony's book, Awaken the Giant Within. It's one of the most powerful books you can read that will help you dislodge those beliefs, reset them, and start moving in a different direction. The second book I would recommend is Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Two very powerful books that deal with this kind of stuff, our subconscious programming, and how powerful it's like the operating system of your computer or your laptop or your phone. You know, if there's bad programming, bad code, the rest doesn't matter. The apps don't matter. They won't work right. So these two books will help you reset, shift focus, and start moving in a different direction. Helpful?
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well, we have gone and taken way too much of your time. Thank you so much for that. Guys, if you have some questions we're getting some questions about Espresso functioning. I'll have the support folks go through these notes and call you guys to answer your questions, or you can also reach out to the support team at Espresso and get your questions answered. But Borino's not going to be able to help us address each of those right now. So
trust me, if I give you technical support, we both are in trouble. You don't want that.
We're in trouble, right? Exactly. Can you give the names and the authors of those two books again? Somebody would like to know. Buzz would like to know.
Dr. Joe Dispenza, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, and Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Get them on Amazon.
Perfect.
Great read.
Thanks, guys. Well, thanks, Borino, and thanks to all our Espresso agent fans out there. Thanks for joining us today. I hope you guys got a lot out of it. I think this was a great working, sort of a working webinar. Roll up your sleeves. It was good.
Yeah. Crash it. I wish
Great.
you all a fantastic 2017. If you need my help, I'm just an email away. Please do reach out. You can also look us up on Facebook. We have a good group on Facebook, a bunch of great agents, just inspiring each other, helping each other out. We're called the Rockstar Agents. So look us up on Facebook, connect with us. Great being with you today. Monica, thank you so much for having me. I'd love to come back.
Thanks, Borino. Of course. We'll see you next time.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Crush it this year.
See ya. Bye-bye.